All right, so we are back again with another discussion on entertainment news that took place over the last few days. And yeah, we're going to be covering news that came out in the entertainment world in the medium of video games and movies. Two very important mediums. So, Mike, again, how are you doing?
I'm doing great tonight. Glad to be back.
I'm glad to have you with me as we go over some of this news right here, some of this juicy news. So, um, first and foremost, to start off, we have news on Hogwarts Legacy, which is the upcoming Harry Potter RPG. Hogwarts Legacy, earlier this year, a few weeks ago, was delayed to 2022. And I believe that was mainly due to COVID-19. So recently, the lead designer, the lead game designer on Hogwarts Legacy, has been criticized for his activity on social media and YouTube. Troy Leavitt, who is the lead designer over at Warner Brothers, and of course Warner Brothers obviously knows about this. Um, he's had he's had these reactions where he has these these opinions where he's spoken out against feminism and social justice regarding minorities, and his stance has not been favorable. Um,
Mm,
and there are those who feel that this is, they won't be able to enjoy a game from someone who shares such troubling opinions on some important issues. Um,
oh wow.
yeah, so um, he's criticized different things such as Anita Sarkeesian, which okay, that's one thing. Um, but then there's other there's other things that he's talked about, um, where he's basically like defended cases of where there's been allegations of sexual misconduct, um,
Oh,
and yes, some of these things he expressed through his YouTube channel, which he had um, before he got hired at Warner Brothers. Um,
huh. The channel's still up?
I believe it is, but I haven't taken a look at it personally. Um,
Mm,
but like I said, Warner Brothers, they were aware of the content and everything before they hired him,
uh,
and that makes it more troubling that they know about it.
yeah.
Um, and he has gone on to state that uh, just because Warner Brothers Games didn't have an issue with it, that not that they endorse it, but because they don't endorse it, he doesn't believe that it's really a concern. Um, and Harry Potter, the brand itself has already been damaged thanks to its creator J.K. Rowling, who has
Oh,
the last few
yeah, those are comments.
yeah
Yeah.
the her comments about transgender people. She's spoken
Mm,
heavily against transgender individuals, um, and the fan base kind of turned on her for that, despite you know despite loving the universe and the characters that she created. And then
mm,
there's the the actual movies, the Fantastic Beast films, which leave a lot
uh,
to be desired, especially that last one, which was just awful. Um,
I haven't seen them yet.
Yeah, that last one was, and that was some bullshit. Um, this brand just seems to it's basically a tainted brand now with the Harry Potter franchise. Um, it's crazy how you want to love something so much, but the people behind the certain people who are in charge of certain properties that are involved with Harry Potter now is just um, it's made fans come to hate not the series but you know the names behind um, certain certain properties, and so
Yeah, absolutely.
it's a shame. Um,
Mm.
Now with me, um, I still intend to play Hogwarts Legacy mainly because I'm not going to let one or two people's behavior, the behavior of two different individuals, stop me from doing what I do on YouTube. Um,
Yeah,
and so this is just the behavior of one person. And the J.K.
yeah.
Rowling thing, that never really bothered me.
Mm.
I don't get like emotionally attached to people behind things like creators of things that I actually like. You know,
Yeah.
I really don't. That's why.
It's a great move. It's a good move, actually.
Yeah, that's why I don't watch celebrity interviews or anything like that.
Mm.
The most I'll do is watch like, uh, you know, the making of something, or that's the
Mm.
farthest I'll really go. I won't really go out of my way to watch an interview, um, because it doesn't really do anything for me. Um,
Yeah, I'm on the same boat as you. I don't pay attention to the interviews at all.
and
Um,
I used to do that when I was younger, but
yeah,
now that I'm older, like I don't care about celebrities or anything like that. Um,
yeah,
Now, as like someone who plays a musical instrument, like I'll watch a video like an interview with a guitar player, a famous guitar player, or an interview with a specific band that I like because they're usually something. There's usually something in the interview that I can pick up, something I can take away from it. Um,
huh,
but aside from that, yeah, I don't really pay attention to that type of stuff. So yeah, I just with this, it's like another way to look at it is if you're a professional, you should um, you should behave like a professional, and you shouldn't you should know that you can't just go around and say whatever you want.
yeah.
That's how that's
It's a
how
big part of being an adult.
right. That's how Gina Carano got fired recently from The Mandalorian. Um, and that
Oh yeah, I've heard about that situation.
Yeah, it's like you can't just go around and say, whatever you want when you work for a company. That's with any industry.
Yeah,
Any industry. That's not just with, the entertainment industry. That's with anything. So,
mm,
if you're a part of an organization, be it the military or, some company in manufacturing or the finance world or the medical world, whatever it is, a law firm, whatever, you can't just say whatever the hell you want. It
yeah,
doesn't work like that. So,
yeah.
what are your thoughts on this?
I'm with you completely. I definitely agree with you when you're saying like I would still, if I was still playing games, I would actually still play the game too, even despite the comments, because it is just one person, and there's just a whole team, other team behind this, just working on the game, and I just want to experience that. But I'm with you, like you're an adult, you gotta really learn to calm it down, like not speak everything that comes to your mind. It just really looks bad, like you're saying, you just really gotta be professional with it. It just seems like you're like unprofessional and you're just really just doing too much. Like you're just speaking your mind way too much. So that's how I feel about it.
Yeah, and like I said, some people in the comments left some of his Twitter posts. This is why I fucking hate Twitter. Um, and other social, media platforms. It's like people in the entertainment industry, like celebrities, because they have a certain platform, they think that they can just go around and say whatever the hell they want, and
Yeah.
that time and time again they're proven wrong. And this guy in particular, he's talking about arming schools to stop U.S. gun culture. Violence against schools is like that's only going to make it worse. You know,
Yeah.
you start arming schools, you're going to give more incentive for school shootings to take place. Um, I just I don't know what compels someone to type something
Yeah.
that foolish and that stupid unless they're just trying to seek attention. But yeah, man, this guy better be careful because um, it doesn't matter what his position is, he can lose his job. Um, that's what happened with over the last year. That's what happened with a lot of creative directors at Ubisoft.
Yep.
Who were accused of sexual misconduct and workplace abuse, and they got yeeted. Their careers are now pretty much dead in the water.
Yep.
So like I said, God
You
better
gotta watch for how you carry yourself.
basically, yeah. That's what it comes down to. If you're a professional, act like a professional. But yeah, there was that. There was that story. Moving on, we have um,
We have
we have screenshots, new screenshots of the upcoming Halo Infinite.
Excited to see how this game coming along.
Well, there's some concern. There's a lot of concern with this game. They delayed this pretty much a year because the game was supposed to come out last year. It was supposed to come out the same day and date with the Xbox Series X, but it was delayed. The initial gameplay reveal that they showed on the internet that didn't go so well. A lot of people criticized the graphics, said it looked like an Xbox One game, and yeah, it didn't look next gen. And then on top of that, it just looked too familiar with the older games. And with the criticism from Halo 5, they're trying to go back to at least when it comes to art direction and everything, they're trying to go back to some of the original games, the feeling. And so one of the biggest concerns I have with this game is that this is apparently going to be an open world game, which is very different from any other Halo game that's come before it. Halo,
for sure.
Halo has always had like expansive environments, even from the very first game, but it's never been an open world experience.
Yeah.
It's never been that at all.
So yeah, that's a real risky move they made right there. I'm really interested to see how it turns out when this game finally releases. That's definitely a big change.
Yeah, and this, I mean, I have an issue with turning franchises into something they're not. I didn't like the fact that God of War went open world. I didn't like the fact that Metal Gear Solid went open world. Final Fantasy, I can see that one. But Gears of War, that was another one. I didn't like Gears 5. A big part of that was they tried to make it open world, and the open world was just empty, and there was nothing in it. It was boring as shit, and it made the game artificially longer than what it needed to be. And I think Halo Infinite may suffer from the same issues. Because if you're going to make a big open world game, you got to fill it with content to make up for all that space. And lately, these game developers don't seem to want to put in the extra work to make that open world, earn earn its length, and so that's the main issue I've been having with open world games as of late. And
Right.
occasionally you'll get the good one like the Insomniac Spider-Man games or Horizon Zero Dawn, or Red Dead Redemption 2. Occasionally you'll get the ones that are decent, but yeah, too often than not they just they prove to be more trouble than what they're worth.
Yeah.
Now, what I don't know if you have seen anything of Halo Infinite.
Just seen a few clips of it. That original gameplay trailer. It did look rough.
Yeah, well, they have an extra, they had an extra year to work on it. So when it releases this holiday season, I plan on picking it up for PC, because I'm not buying another Xbox like ever.
Yeah.
So yeah, hopefully it turns out well. Can't say I'm excited for it though. So hopefully that turns out well. Third piece of news right here is there's been a new version of, and we'll watch some gameplay of this, the trailer anyway, later, when we go over the state of play, what was revealed. But this was like the biggest announcement from the Sony state of play. It's a new version of Final Fantasy VII, the remake, dubbed Intergrade, which is basically just a graphical boost, a slight, improvement with the graphics and textures in the environment, lighting. It adds a photo mode, which, only a certain number of people are going to give a shit about that. And aside from that, it's pretty much the same game. The same flaws that existed in the original release is going to exist in this version. And it has DLC now. And that DLC includes the character Yuffie, who is one of the original party members from the original Final Fantasy VII, the OG Final Fantasy VII. And in this DLC, you play as Yuffie in a story-based DLC that takes place parallel to the events of the remake itself. And basically, Yuffie comes to Midgar and has a little adventure or whatever. Sounds fucking stupid because it didn't take place at all in the original game. This is some new bullshit that they came up with for this so-called remake, which is just a sequel in disguise. Again, not an actual faithful remake to the original Final Fantasy VII. The game is, or at least the DLC for Intergrade is, first of all, you have to pay for it. It's not free.
Ooh.
And then on top of that, to make it even worse, they only made it available for PlayStation 5 owners.
Oh, dang.
So,
big whammy right there.
Yeah. Now, let's try and make sense of this. They have over 100 million units of the PlayStation 4 that's been sold. The remake originally came out on the PlayStation 4. Sony still has a year's exclusivity deal between them and Square Enix for the Final Fantasy VII remake until April rolls around, and then the game at some point will definitely be released on PC and Xbox. And then the PlayStation 5 hasn't even sold 10 million units itself. It's sold maybe 4 to 5. So why would why would they lock a DLC which promotes the part 2 of this so-called remake project? Why would why would they lock that behind a system that is extremely hard to get right now, is expensive as hell? It just doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, it's a bad move.
Yeah, what are your thoughts on this?
I'm with you as well. That's a pretty bad move. Like it doesn't make sense, especially with all those numbers you're giving me. Like think the DLC should definitely be available for the PS4 users, especially with the amount of people that bought the game on there. So yeah.
And then on top of that, like I said, this is something.
Wait, is that the image of the new DLC right there? Too?
Yeah. This is Yuffie right here.
None of this was in the OG game.
No, this story it was not in the original game. Yuffie meets Cloud and the other characters or whatever. You meet her after you leave Midgar in the original. In this version, it's more likely going to be the same. It's just that they're adding this this story DLC. More than likely, it's to promote Part 2, or just to give fans something to hold over until they reveal Part 2, because they're working on Part 2 right now at Square Enix, or they have a team that's working on Part 2. And that's fine, but it's like they could have either A, made the DLC available for PlayStation 4 users, which it still would have been bullshit either way because it's something that you have to pay for and the game itself is already incomplete.
Yeah.
Or, you know, they could have just saved it for Part 2. But, you know, bitches want to be greedy in the gaming industry, you know.
Yeah. I think it would definitely been better just to save it for Part 2. Have they given a price for this DLC?
That's another thing. They haven't given a price yet. But if you look at the last major controversial story-based DLC that Square Enix released, which was for Kingdom Hearts 3, and that didn't review well either. They released that for $30. So yeah, if they charged that much for this DLC, yeah. It's already bad. It's already bad enough that they alienated more than half of the audience that even played the game in the first place.
Yeah. Like you said, they're struggling to get more units out there too. So I'm like, it's a real bad move.
Yeah.
Have they, for the DLC, have they given like I guess like any details on like I guess a link or like what the content will be like? Because I remember you telling me with Fantasy 15, it's just like I guess like with a lot of side missions, it's like kind of like mini games and all that too. So I wonder like how this one's gonna like what the layout of this one would be like.
Oh, the content itself.
Yeah.
What I'm thinking is it's not going to be anything deep or profound. More than likely, it's just going to be you'll have the main story with Yuffie or whatever. It'll probably last maybe 2 to 3 hours, and then you'll probably have a handful of side missions that are going to be boring as fuck, and that'll be it. And most of the people who are interested in playing it are going to have to watch it on YouTube because they don't have, most people don't have a PS5 who want one.
Right.
And so, yeah, it's just bad move by Square Enix, bad move by Sony. It's just, what the fuck? They basically screwed over their fan base, but what else is new? What else is new? So, yeah. And that's not all for for the news on Final Fantasy VII. Square Enix also has revealed 2 mobile games based off of Final Fantasy VII, Ever Crisis and First Soldier. First Soldier is like a battle royale game where you make a character from the fictional soldier, like military. It's like a military group or whatever in Final Fantasy VII is the best way to think of it. And you make a character and you go around and just fuck shit up, I guess.
Yeah.
And yeah, you can play that on your phone. And then the important one is Ever Crisis, which you can play the entire Final Fantasy VII timeline, including the cinematic universe, the movies, which and not just the movies, but the side games too. So you have Crisis Core, Before Crisis, which was like a small anime series, limited anime series. Dirge of Cerberus, which was a game on the PS2, and Advent Children.
I remember that one.
Yeah, Advent Children, the Final Fantasy VII movie. You can play all of that and the original story itself on your phone. and it's
Yeah, that's
basically,
pretty cool, actually.
yeah, it sounds cool, but then you have to wonder if they did that, why couldn't they just do that for the remake and just have it be one game?
Yeah.
And this is like a little screenshot or whatever. Oh damn, that's the first time I'm actually looking at the shit. Shit, I would have taken that instead of the bullshit that we got. Shit. I'm trying to see if this is actually like the faithful like turn base. Yeah, this looks more like a faithful remake, like what the remake should have been.
Mm,
Gameplay wise, that's yeah, it looks more faithful to like the original turn based style, just with better graphics.
uh-huh.
And then you get to play all of this in the timeline. Yeah, this is what the remake should have been. Well,
Yeah. Dang, and that's only on mobile.
yeah, that's on mobile, dude. Well, yeah, Square Enix, they continue to milk Final Fantasy VII. They've been milking Final Fantasy VII for years, so this is nothing new. Like I said, they're not going to slow down anytime soon. As Final Fantasy VII is the most popular game in the series. It's the only game in the series that's sold over 10 million copies, if I'm not mistaken. Um, so, yep, that's what Square Enix is up to, screwing over their fan base as usual. Um, Moving on to some movie news. Um, a sequel to District 9 is in the works. Neil Blomkamp, excuse me. I'm gonna make sure I say his name right. Um, he is writing right now. He has some partners that he's working with on District 10. Um, this is extremely interesting because it's something that should have happened years ago.
Yeah.
Um, and Neil Blomkamp, he's pretty much like a one-hit wonder director. He directed one
Huh.
great movie and then followed up with two pieces of shit with Elysium and whatever the hell that chappy shit was. Um, and yeah, it's great that he's finally giving people what they want. Because we always wanted a sequel to District 9, so this one's going to be called District 10. Um,
Mm.
and it's also being co-written by the actor who was in that movie, Sharto Copley. I can't even pronounce his name, but yeah, this is great news. This is something I'm definitely looking forward to. Um, what are your thoughts on District 10?
I haven't watched the first movie. I mean, I've always heard of great things about the first one and like how big it was coming out. But I'm probably gonna have to check out the first one first, and then uh, see my thoughts probably later on and see if I'll be excited for it or not. But if you said he came out with two duds later on, there's some worries to be had for sure. But you never know; they can always make a good comeback, so we can see about that.
Yeah, yeah, this is something I'm definitely. I'm actually kind of excited for this one. Um, District 9 was like one of the best movies that came out during that decade, the 2000s through the decade of the 2000s, 2000 to 2009. And it came out at the tail end of that decade, and it was a phenomenon. The guy made he made a you know this what appeared to be a movie that had tens of millions of dollars thrown into it with the CGI and everything.
Right.
Extremely well directed, and the effects on the aliens and everything that were in that movie. It just um, you would think something like that was more expensive than what it really was. It only cost him 10 million to make that, and so
Uh,
the guy really knows how to do CGI and all that. The story was great. The main character in that movie, we could sympathize with the character. The world that he created in that movie was very unique and special. Um,
uh,
so yeah, I'm definitely excited for this. I didn't think it was ever going to happen.
mm,
This is over 10 years after District 9 came out. That
yeah,
he
that's
that
that's a long time.
Yeah, it's a long time, but yeah, I hope it works out for him.
I wish I got to watch District 9 instead of Elysium.
Yeah, we can catch it or whatever one of these weekends.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, there's that and more movie news. The third Spider-Man movie with Tom Holland and the final movie in his Marvel contract has been given a titles dubbed Spider-Man No Way Home. So they're keeping the home motif or whatever in the titles for these movies. Um, and then they had like a little teaser. I haven't watched this, so
Mm,
I'll probably catch that on my in my own free time. They had a logo reveal, but it's not in this article.
uh,
Um, this is the movie that where it was reported that Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield would be returning to their roles, their specific version of Peter Parker, Spider-Man in this
uh,
new version, and it was going to be like a multiverse sort of thing where you have three different Spider-Men up on screen at once. Tom Holland did come out recently to say that that wasn't the case, and um, Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield aren't actually in the movie. Now he could have been contractually, obligated to debunk those rumors,
yeah.
because it was also reported that Tobey Maguire was being a drama queen on set and just being an asshole. Um, so I really don't know what to believe. I guess you're gonna have to wait for like an official trailer to see if Toby and Andrew are actually going to be um, in this movie or not. Um, what are your thoughts on Spider-Man 3 or Spider-Man No Way Home?
I mean, well, after what you told me, all three are showing up in the movie. I mean, I would love to see that if that's the case. So I'm hoping it's not a bullshit rumor. Uh, I don't think I like the last Spider-Man movie that came out, but still, I'm always in love with seeing any Spider-Man movie come out. So I can say I'm not exactly too excited, but keeping it on my list to watch out for.
And it's not just Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire. Charlie Cox, who played Daredevil in the Daredevil Netflix show, was
Gonna be in this?
apparently he was seen on set at one point. Um, and then Alfred Molina, who played Doctor Octopus in Spider-Man 2, apparently is also going to make an appearance in it too. So it's not just
Oh
Andrew
wow.
Garfield and Tobey Maguire. Like they're trying to make this a big thing. Um, and not just that, but Jamie Foxx, who played Electro in the Amazing Spider-Man 2, he was rumored to be in it as well. Um,
Mm,
so it's like they're trying to bring everyone, every major actor or anyone who had anything to do with the earlier Spider-Man movies as far as the actors go. They're trying to bring them back. Um, and I think I read something about Kirsten Dunst, who played Mary Jane in the Sam Raimi films. I think I read something about her showing up too. So
man, they're bringing everybody in.
yeah, I hope
Definitely
it.
like the idea. So let's just hope it plays out well.
Yeah, I'm anticipating that first trailer. Like they got to knock that first trailer out of the park.
Yeah.
If this is true. So yeah, we'll have to see how it goes. Have to see how it goes, but yeah, that's something I'm definitely looking forward to. Moving on, we have Star Wars Republic Commando that has been confirmed for release on the PlayStation 4 and the Nintendo Switch, which is due out this April. PC users already have Star Wars Republic Commando. I have Star Wars Republic Commando on Steam. Now, I think controller support with it is limited, so it's not like exactly the same or whatever as the original release as far as that goes. So this is something I may decide to invest in because it's only going to be $15 for PS4. So this is one of the best Star Wars games ever made. I remember playing this. I actually rented Republic Commando years ago, and I played it on the only system it was released for on Xbox, and played through the entire thing. The story takes place. Well, it starts in Star Wars Episode 2, parallel to the events of that movie, and it ends. It ends in Episode 3, somewhere in Episode 3, and yeah, it's one of the most memorable experiences for a Star Wars game, and
yeah, I'm with you.
It's great that they're they're bringing it back, and even though it's not a remaster, it's a port, but at least they're giving it trophy support, for people who care about that, and yeah, they're not charging too much for it, so I don't see any issues with it.
Yeah, I'm with you on there. I actually got this game for Christmas, and man, I love this game from start to finish. I would love if they made a second one, but
yeah,
that's not gonna happen. But still, man, like you were saying, this game was amazing. Definitely one of my favorite Star Wars games, besides right beside Knights of the Old Republic.
Right. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to when that comes out in April. The next piece of news we have is that Joe Biden is looking into shortages on semiconductors, which is a big problem within the American economy. And this is also this plays into the PS5 and the Xbox Series X, because one of the reasons that the consoles there's been a shortage of consoles is because these companies don't have the materials needed to actually make enough units, and so that's why there's been a shortage. And so I think Joe he signed an executive order or whatever, which will review the semiconductor production pipeline, and how it can be alleviated to improve the American economy. Now, GameSpot, they the headline for this article is bullshit, because it makes it sound like he's doing this just for the PS5 and the Xbox Series X. Like Joe Biden couldn't care.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. What the heck?
Yeah, Joe Biden couldn't care less about no goddamn video game console. But yeah, that was just a clickbait headline.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, this is something that's interesting to me, because I wonder if by the summer, if it's going to be easier to find these consoles online, or if they're just going to be, when they're actually going to be available in stores, itself. I don't think they're going to be available in stores anytime soon.
Yeah.
So it might not be until next year that they're available to purchase in store. So we'll have to see how that goes. But
yeah,
I know for sure I will not be buying an Xbox Series X. PlayStation 5, it's up in the air with that. Even if I do get one, I'm not going to buy too many games for it. That's for sure.
Mm.
But yeah, what are your thoughts on this?
And definitely nothing bad to come out of it. I mean, it's definitely great news. Definitely bring them back to the shelves or online faster. So yeah, I'm not against that.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be playing them.
Yeah. So there was that story. Then we have two more articles here.
My name is Rob, joined by reviewer
Now,
Callie.
when I read
This
this,
is
I was
GameSpot's
like,
video review of
okay,
Days Gone.
I don't care. Days Gone is coming to PC. That's not the big news of this article right here.
Callie, we're talking about Days Gone a lot to talk.
The big news actually is that more Sony exclusives are going to be following it. Now, the big
Still there?
yeah. Can you hear me?
The video cut out. Yeah. Came back in now. Alright, yeah, screen came back in.
All right, all good.
All good.
Okay. So yeah, like I was saying, the big news of this is that there's going to be more Sony exclusives that are going to be coming to PC. They had already announced this last year, and Horizon Zero Dawn was the first major PlayStation 4 exclusive that was released to PC.
Okay.
Yeah, I bought Horizon Zero Dawn on PC, and I played a little bit of it. It runs perfectly. Looks just as great. It looks just as great as the console version. Plays just as well as the console version. And that was one of my favorite games that came out last generation. So I'm glad that I have that on my laptop. As far as Days Gone goes, I did rent Days Gone when it first came out, but I will not be buying that game because I played it for I played that bullshit for like two hours or some shit, and it was just generic as fuck, and it was boring. It was poorly designed in a lot of different areas, and the AI, the enemy AI, was just fucking stupid. The zombies were retarded. The zombies would literally chase you and trip and fall down, and then pick themselves back up and keep chasing you, and you can run in a fucking circle, and they would not be able to catch up to you. And when I say run, I mean like jog. You could jog in a circle and they still couldn't catch you. It's ridiculous. Then they had the fucking stupid motorcycle mechanic, and the motorcycle ran on gas, and if you ran out of gas, then you couldn't drive the motorcycle anymore. You had to get off the motorcycle. It was another generic open world game that had a bunch of skill trees and shit, and I was like, I'm not playing this garbage. So yeah, I will not be. And Days Gone didn't review well either. They got a lot of mediocre scores, deservedly so. I can't believe there are people out there that even like that piece of shit, but gamers, the stupidity of gamers, right? But yeah, I won't be repurchasing Days Gone, but this announcement is in a way is a good thing, because I do want to see other Sony exclusive games be released to PC, like the Uncharted series. The Uncharted series, for example, I would rebuy pretty much all those games because they're all good. Especially Uncharted 4. I would love to try and test that out on my laptop. Another one would be The Last of Us 1, not The Last of Us 2. Pretend The Last of Us 2 doesn't exist. But yeah, the first one, I would revive the first one. And then obviously there's Insomniac's Spider-Man games. I would rebuy those, and Bloodborne 2. That would be the big one for a lot of people. And then Sony may, if they release those games to PC, they may release some of their older exclusives to PC from past generations. So like some of the older Ratchet and Clank games, the Jak and Daxter games, the Sly Cooper games.
That'd be great.
Yeah, that would be great if they released all those. But Yeah, we'll have to see about that. What are your thoughts about this?
I think it'd be a great idea. Always just getting rid of that and bringing more games to PC just for more gamers to play. I mean, it's always a great thing, especially the classic games on the PS2 like Jak and Daxter, Ratchet and Clank, like you were saying. Like a lot of gamers need to experience that, and especially if you're just a PC gamer and you don't want to spend all that money on a PlayStation just to play those games.
Right.
It's a good money saver, and you get to experience some great games from the past. So yeah, it's definitely great, and I hope it does happen with the previous games on the other generations, like you were saying.
But there's another angle to this where Sony fans, because gamers are once again stupid. You do have certain fans out there that are upset that because like when Horizon Zero Dawn was released to PC, you had a number of fans that were literally upset that other people got to PC owners got to play the game.
Sure.
And it's like they're so loyal to the PlayStation brand that they think everyone should be on PlayStation, and it's like this is a business, Not everyone is interested in a fucking PlayStation, but there are certain games that are exclusive to PlayStation that people are interested in, and Sony does have some great exclusives. I just named some of them, so. It'd be great to play certain games like Bloodborne and Spider-Man and some of these other titles, Uncharted and what have you, on PC, and not have to go out and give Sony hundreds of dollars for a console that I really don't want, and won't really use that much. So that's that whole brand loyalty thing. That's nothing but fanboyism. That's what that goes back to. It's like if you're upset about other people being having access to games that on other platforms, it's like that's your fucking problem.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's nonsense. But it doesn't devalue the PlayStation brand. If anything, it helps Sony get their attract a wider audience, and Microsoft realized that with the Xbox, and so now pretty much all their exclusives are coming to PC day and date with their release on on Xbox Series X. So Sony is looking to. It looks like they're looking to go in that same direction, but this really means that It makes no sense any longer to buy a gaming console. If they're moving in that direction, you may as well just buy a gaming PC. And if you're a Nintendo person, buy a Nintendo console and stick to PC, and that's it. So for me personally, I'm not a Nintendo person, so I'm not gonna. I'm not going to spend money on the Nintendo console, but I'm definitely looking forward to seeing whether the games they bring to PC, and that's that article. We have one more. It says Sony. Oh yeah, this story was probably shocking. To a lot of different people. It was definitely shocking to me. Sony recently, as of this past week, announced that they are shutting down their Japan studio. Now, this is big news because PlayStation is a Japanese console. It's a Japanese brand, and it looks like Sony is now prioritizing PlayStation more in the United States. So they're basically westernizing the brand, which is very concerning because you're no longer really going to see Japanese influenced AAA games like that unless it's from like Square Enix or something like that, which we already know what the fucking problem with that is, what that's going to be. Now, Japan Studio, they're responsible for a lot of different games. some of the most notable ones are like Ape Escape, Knack, fuck Knack, and Gravity Rush.
Yeah, I've heard. I'm familiar with Gravity Rush and Neck. I haven't heard of Ape Escape though.
Ape Escape is like an old like PS2, era type of game. Um,
Mm.
but yeah, Gravity Rush was great. I played the first Gravity Rush, um, and I platinumed the first Gravity Rush. I own that game digitally, and then I bought Gravity Rush 2, and I played through that game. And I liked it. I thought it was good. Didn't think it was great, but it was definitely good. I enjoyed it. Problem is, no one really bought it, and yeah, Japan Studio seems to be like one of those publishing, or not publishing houses, but it's one of those studios that has a lot of trouble selling certain games. You know, not a lot of people. They don't have a big audience, so not a lot of people buy their games, and so that's why Sony has basically effectively shut them down. A lot of the key developers have left Japan Studio, and that was pretty much the final nail in the coffin.
Oh man, sad to hear.
Yeah, like the Gravity Rush director Keiichiro Toyama. He formed a new studio called Bokeh, and so he was one of the notable people from Japan Studio that's left. And so
I see they collaborated with other studios. Games like The Last Guardian, Bloodborne. I'm seeing that from the article too.
Yeah, they're responsible for collaborating and bringing games like Demon Souls, which is known to be apparently one of the best video games ever made, or whatever, which kicked off the whole Souls craze or whatever. Yeah, they're responsible for games like that. They've collaborated with studios like From Software and Team Ico and some of these other notable development studios. A lot of people view this as bad news, and I can see why, and I can't really disagree. It's pretty concerning, but at the same time, no one really bought some of these games. Like, no, there wasn't a huge support for games like Gravity Rush or The Last Guardian. For me personally, I took one look at The Last Guardian and I was like, I'm not buying that bullshit. Yeah, gaming journalists, so they tried to get, motherfuckers from IGN and GameSpot. Oh, they tried to, promote the hell out of that game. But even, when the game actually came out, particularly with The Last Guardian, it didn't get great review scores. And it looked strange anyway. It didn't look like something I really wanted to play. Yeah, a lot of people didn't really buy it. Hell, I could go to Walmart right now and they got copies of The Last Guardian just sitting on the shelf. Cheap copies just sitting there. So it is what it is. If a studio, if a development studio makes games and that no one buys, they're going to get shut down. It's a business.
Yep.
So it is what
That's
it is.
the way it goes.
Yeah.
And I'm with you. It is what it is. You're not making a profit, so yeah.
Yeah, and people are trying to attack Jim Ryan, who's the current CEO of PlayStation. It's like, the man knows what he's doing. It's like once again, this studio, they've made some great games. Again, Gravity Rush, I love Gravity Rush. Bloodborne, I like Bloodborne. I like some of the stuff that From Software has done. But I'm not going to sit here and say that everything they've done is just is just gold and they they're the best studio in the world, because they're far from it. And like I said, a lot of the games that they're known for, they've collaborated on. They didn't even make. So yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on this?
Oh yeah, I mean, it's always sad to hear like you were saying like great games like I guess like Gravity Rush. They only apply to like have a certain nick and they don't sell well, even though they're great games and probably deserve a lot more attention and things like that. It's always sad to see situations like that and just seeing the studio get shut down too. Even though I guess they put a lot of passion and work into their projects, they don't get any attention or make the sales. That's sad to see, but like you're saying, it's a business, and if you're not making a profit, you're not gonna last long, and you're gonna get shut down. So, like you said, it is what it is. That's just the way it goes. So, not much you can really do. And he's not a bad CEO at all. I don't know what that guy in the comments was talking about. I mean, he's doing his job.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my thoughts on it.
Well, like I said, gamers will be stupid and fanboys will be fanboys, and some of these commenters, it's not just on GameSpot. I've seen it on GameFAQs. I've seen it on IGN. This is the end of PlayStation, and PlayStation now is just going to make over the shoulder shit, and it's going to be some Western garbage, and we're not going to get the interesting, the unique games anymore. And it's like no one really cares about the unique games. So apparently, because if they did, then they would be, more people would be buying them.
Yeah.
It is what it is. Even if there was better marketing for a game like Gravity Rush 2, that game is only for a very specific audience. So
Yeah.
anyone outside of that audience, like casuals aren't going to play anything like that. So they
Yeah.
don't give a shit about that. They care about what the next Madden's going to be, what the next fucking Call of Duty, or the next Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah.
They don't care about no goddamn Gravity Rush. I mean, and that's coming from someone who actually likes the game. So, it is what it is, man. But
Oh,
yep, that was the major news that's come out this week. Which article did you find the most interesting?
honestly, I think it was between this one and the Spider-Man article because, like you said, there's a lot of rumors going on for all the different characters that might or might not show up. So I'm really interested to see, like you said, about how that first trailer turns out. Yeah, and this story right here too. So I think I'd put this as a top for me right here
Yeah.
because I'm like, because it could the story like this, it can apply to like music and things like that. Like, say you got a certain favorite artist you like, but he's not popular at all. He probably makes some really great music and everything, but he's not selling or anything, and gets just dropped from his label. And it becomes a struggle for the artist to get things going. So yeah, so I say this is the top article for me today.
The top one for me would have to be. Yeah, I mean this is definitely in my top three, and the Spider-Man one, but the other one is Sony saying that they're going to release more of their exclusives to PC. It's not exactly completely new, but it is the fact that they keep talking about it and they're releasing another one of their big exclusives from last generation on PC. It's looking like it's a for sure thing that Sony and PlayStation in general may go third party sooner or later, just the same as Xbox has. So if that happens, like I said, it's there no more PlayStation. I don't have to buy a PlayStation.
Yep.
So that's something that saves me a lot of money and a lot of time, and yeah, don't have to worry about it. You want a PlayStation? Yeah, you can fuck around with scalpers on the internet. Hey, have fun. So, because I won't be buying one. So.
Yep, it's a shame all the stories I hear in my job. Like parents come in, they always tell me about how they've served hours on end looking for their kids at PS5, and I'm like, I just shake my head.
You really get stories like that?
Yeah.
That's some sad shit, dude. That's some sad. I'd have to tell little Timmy, hey, you want a PS5? Here's a lawnmower and some fucking gasoline. So here's how you put the gasoline in the lawnmower. You better take your ass next door. Once you raise enough money, you can get one then. But I'm not gonna be. I ain't buying no goddamn $500 fucking Alienware looking thing. You can do that shit. So wow, hours looking for a PlayStation 5. Who the fuck spends hours looking for a fucking PlayStation 5? All you have to do is go on Google and type in PlayStation 5 and go to the shopping tab, and you can see that there's nothing available.
Yeah.
Wow, hours. Oh man, people are sad. People are fucking sad. Anyway, so yeah, that wraps up the major entertainment news for this week. It's been great having you back, Mike. Now. I'm going to upload 2 videos. The first is us going over the articles, and then the second one is us taking a look at what the announcements were for the Sony State of Play, which came out this week. So we're about to take a look at that.
All right.
It's about 30 minutes. So trying to get through that quick so we can wrap this up. All right. So until next time. We will come back next week and discuss the news that will come out this week regarding entertainment news for movies and video games. I am your host, guy who makes YouTube videos, or you can call me Avid for short. And
I'm just a friend of Avid who comes in to talk about it with him.
Yeah, we actually know each other. We've known each other for a long time. So, how long have we known each other, Mike?
It's been about
I think
9 years.
I think it's been 10 years. Yeah.
Okay.
It's been 10 years, dude.
Okay.
Yeah, it's been a while, man. And it's funny because there's only, as far as I know, it's just you and one other guy who's subscribed to my channel who actually like knows me and in real life.
Oh, okay.
Like knows who I am, knows my name and everything. And I've known him for 10 years too, 10 plus years. Actually, I know.
You got a lot of subscribers too.
Yeah, I do. But yeah, I see him every time I go to Walmart. He knows who I'm talking about. So
yeah.
But anyway, that wraps up this week. We will come back next week. So until next time, stay safe, everyone, and it's been fun.